Ooh. Greetings and welcome. Get comfortable here. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live at The Real Bloom from Within Love or Go by Bloomy. And original air date of this live is Wednesday, June the 22nd, 2022. Okay, otherwise, just welcome and thank you for joining. Anything you need to know about me should be listed in the description box. Okay, and to my returning viewers and subscribers that are of high vibe, love and light, positive vibes and energy. Hold on, I need to bring this forward. I just want to say to you all, thank you. To you all, I appreciate you. For you all, you are a part of my life, okay? I invite y'all to check out the playlist, many other videos that I have on my main page, as well as the recommendations, okay? Now, if you're familiar with who I am, okay, you guys already know my flavor. If you're new, then this is why I'm guiding you to look at what I've created so far because it's more than tarot, okay? I'm not trying to, say anything against just tarot or anything like that. I'm simply saying that I'm here and this is about my life and my journey and my path and my soul's path of why I'm here. So I am here to ascend and to assist with that, okay? And I use various different means, okay? Tarot just so happens to be one of the means in which I use to assist in that. But I also talk about different topics. I do healing sessions here. I'm a Reiki master, energy channeler, things of that nature and so forth. So, as guided, okay, I'm very unscripted. So usually you guys are not going to get something too polished from me. Okay. I don't have a script that I write out. I don't have it all set up like that. So I go by my heart and soul and just as I'm divinely guided. Okay. So this is a very cash, relaxed, where I am on the globe. I don't know where you are on the globe, but where I am on the globe, it's actually thundering and lightning. And it started when I was doing a reading, oddly enough. I was like, what the hell? Because it wasn't at first. I brought down the rain. Um, so check. So it's thundering and lightning. Okay, it's raining. So I'm just trying to create like this cozy, comforting effect here. I just got finished with a live reading on my TikTok platform, maybe about half an hour to an hour ago. And I really felt like, let me make me some coffee, let me get into chill mode and come back and talk about abuse. And let me just say this as a disclaimer. I need to say it. Okay. First and foremost, I'm speaking from various perspectives. Okay. Like I said, most folks don't really know the fullness of individuals' background. So I am very educated. Okay. I'm educated. I have studied behavioral health. I've studied psychology. I've worked in the field of behavioral health. Okay. Not only that, I raised my disabled son alone for the majority of his life. Okay. So that was up close and personal. Then I come from a family of narcissists, covert narcissists. Okay. So I grew up under narcissistic energy. So I experienced it firsthand. I then started educating myself. And from there, of course, I continued until I started waking, healing, and ascending. I continued to co create and recreate and manifest duplicate relationships, things that looked like my own family. So, in other words, people that were going to be emotionally detached, people that were going to be unavailable, people that were going to be jealous, people that were going to be abusive, people that were going to scapegoat. I kept recreating it. That is abuse. But I'm trying to say that I'm speaking from various perspectives here. Okay. And I'm just going to share the best that I can from what I've learned, from my own guidance, from my research, my studies, my experience. And abuse is, people may say it's subjective, but that is, do your due diligence. Abuse comes in many forms. One of the most heinous types of abuse is that you can't see marked on somebody's body. Okay? That's not easily detected by the naked eye. This is one of the most insidious, heinous forms of abuse because to the unknowing individual, it looks like it's not happening. Scapegoating is one of the most poisonous forms of abuse. This is typically what narcs do. Abusive families don't want to be found out. What people don't realize is this is what has perpetuated these wounds. They don't want to be found out. They don't want the truths uncovered, not really realizing that this is why the wound, the disconnect, and the toxicity remain. And those who benefit off of that kind of energy really fights to keep these things hidden. Okay? Especially if it poses to shatter their image. And this is more common than people want to admit. Okay? And so what happens is there's a scapegoat that is chosen to be the scapegoat, and it's usually the one that's awakened or an earth angel starseed, that they get the blame, okay, for everything. They choose to pick that person to pick apart and project their toxicity onto. Okay? That is abuse. And so unfortunately, a lot of people, nowadays don't, we normalize everything. We watch TV shows, we laugh, and everything has become so normalized to us that most of us aren't looking at some of this stuff as toxic. Okay, because it's like hee hee ha ha, and those who benefit off of the toxicity, they're really trying to, keep that going. And I mean, that's my story. I'm sure it's yours if you're, similar to myself. You're the one that is easy to pick on. You're the one that they feel like it's the threat. The scapegoat is someone that knows the truth and is not afraid to say it. So toxic families that don't want their dark secrets revealed is because it shatters the illusion that they want the world to believe. Okay? And so they rather keep the wound and the pain and the trauma going, redirecting and scapegoating their toxicity onto the awakened one that is blowing the whistle. So they have to go about campaigning. All of that is abuse, by the way. They have to go about campaigning behind the scene to get people to believe their illusions, to get people to team up with them, to further perpetuate and to scapegoat upon the one that knows the truth about the family. The one that's telling the truth. I believe my grandmother on my mother's side, she's one of my most badass ancestors. But I believe that she was scapegoated. Because see, toxic families, I'm telling you, it's prevalent. It's more prevalent than people want to admit. And we have normalized this stuff with the sitcoms and TV shows to further perpetuate a sense of normality with people being fucked up. and then wonder why there's mental illness that develops, wonder why there's such discord and conflict and all of that that lurks about in these families. That's because, first and foremost, there's a scapegoat that everybody uses to dump their trash onto because they don't want to heal and they want the secrets kept. They want to still look like they're, no. Every culture have a little different version of it. But African American culture is really bad at this kind of stuff. And that's due to, I don't want to get too off track here, talking about slavery and the roots of that and what it did. And, because it's kind of tied in together. Where the selling out of one's own really started. You know what I'm saying? The scapegoating, the blaming within one's own family structure, right? The false sense of pride, okay? It's a false pride because of feeling weak. We don't want to be looked upon, but people can smell. See, here's the thing, and this is what I find fascinating. It's not really fooling anyone but those that are in the disillusionment. People can smell the offness. They can smile and take a picture and all they want and post it on every social media they want, all they want. Folks can sense and see, especially individuals who get close enough to them. Okay? The offness. And it's this unhealthy pride. We want to, oh my gosh, So you're more concerned about an appearance than actually healing. That is a telltale sign in itself of the toxicity. You're more worried about what people are going to think, what something's going to look like, than you are with truly healing your family dynamic that you claim you love so much. Because it ain't about really healing. It's about wanting to perpetuate an illusion that there was no abuse. There was no toxicity there. There was no violation. To ask someone to sit at a table with you, whether this is family, friends, or a lover, however the connection, people that's in your inner circle, to ask them or to expect, whether directly or indirectly, expect them to want to fellowship with you, sit with you, partner with you, talk to you, commune with you, come to your party, help you in any way, connect with you, without acknowledging or dealing with infractions is a form of abuse. Denial is a form of abuse. Lying by omission is a form of abuse, mental and emotional and psychological, verbal abuse. A dry blanket sorry doesn't cut it. Especially if it's not even real. I'm saying all this to say, you guys, to help you all on your path, because there will be a lot of crazy making here. If you're dealing with super toxic individuals, there's going to be a lot of projection and crazy making. And that's because they benefit from the illusion and they don't want that illusion to be over, and they don't want the truth to be revealed, which means essentially they do not want to heal by default. They want to pretend heal. These types of people like to go about pretending to be individuals that's loving and caring and cares about healing. Their actions prove differently, though. When you've abused someone and you know you did, you willfully tried to do some things, you talked about behind that back. All this stuff is energy, and it's a form of violation of boundaries, a lack of respect, and a form of abuse. If you use someone's personal information, see, black folks, I hate to say it, well, all cultures, but have a tendency to feel like because of a blood relation, they have a right to use someone's social security number and personal identification, driver's license numbers, and things of that nature. That's toxic. That's a toxic mindset. That's something wrong. It's something wrong. Or feeling like as a form of a punishment, or they want trying to call themselves getting even, they feel entitled to using somebody's personal information. That's something is wrong with that. That's a mind that is abused, and these are minds that are not well, and this is the hidden secret abuse and issues within families that they don't want revealed. So then they get creative and all of a sudden become super Christians, all of a sudden become believers, and they're shacking up and they're doing everything else that, and see me, I'm out of that zone. But they try to hide behind that stuff when it's convenient to come against someone who is liberated and free. That too is abuse. Because half of them, you know what I'm saying, that are claiming all this stuff, they living with folks and they married, but they screaming how wrong and against God something is, and their own lives be fucked up. They make certain concessions for their sins, if you will. Right? Making concessions for stealing, making concessions for their fraud, making concessions for their gossip, making concessions for sleeping with other people's husbands and wives, making concessions for sex before marriage or living with motherfuckers. Now, I don't judge any of this stuff, but I'm only using it because spiritual bullies, spiritual narcs, and religious narcs scapegoats the individual who is an individual and free. They use that as their soapbox to get a group of people who are equally disillusioned to believe their illusion because they don't want to be seen as abusive. So then they try to scapegoat and crazy make the individual that is actually telling the truth. This is why I say, you guys, don't let people fuck with your head. You know what you experienced with these people. Okay? If you experience anything like what I've gone through, okay, nobody that you're in a relationship with or dating has no business with collaborating behind your back with your family members for any reason. And if that's something that you find out is happening, that is abuse on all sides. There is nothing godly, divine, or pure about any of that behavior. Period. The sneaky behavior, secret affairs. These are the people who talk about God all day. These are the people who go on Fake and Facebook and got a trillion God quotes and GoFundMe's and donate charity links. And these are the people who have all of these appearances, posing as gurus, posing as supporters of autism. These are those people. But they're the same people that, like in my case, create profiles under your name and using your pictures and your data and trying to create confusions and illusions out there. That's abuse. That's abuse and misuse. Okay, that's a lack of respect for someone's boundaries, lack of respect for someone's individuality, lack of respect for someone's personal rights and personal space and their personal identity. That is abuse. There's nothing divine, godly, or loving in it. But these are the people who talk about God and shout and fall out and cry and, what I'm saying, call the pastor crying and falling out and wail and lament. And these are the people who sit in Reiki circles with sage bundles and, all these same individuals. See, we have to learn how to look past the appearance, because these are people who usually they don't want to deal with the fact, they don't want the truth about them being abusive revealed. They don't want to heal. They don't want to deal with what they've done. They don't want people to know. So they're going to try to destroy. So hence, this is why they try to do black magic to get rid of people. This is why they put out hits on people. This is why they try to set people up, because they're hoping that if they can kill somebody off or get rid of them, then they won't have to worry about this shit ever coming up. But they're mistaken in my case. Before this is over, before my last breath on this earth, or my sons, every last one of my karmics will be exposed. The truths about who they are and what they have done, those that I knew and those that I didn't, because I have set that intention and I have asked my guides to ensure that they are exposed. This is because it's not only about a lesson for them, but this is where the real healing comes in for those who actually want healing. Not everybody want healing, but there are some individuals that want the healing, want to alchemize out, transcend, transform, and do not want to continue to be toxic and fucked up and abusive like the rest of their family members. And so for those individuals, all those truths, though painful, serves as healing. Then people can finally get to the real issues and stop going about pretending and smiling and stunting. Finally getting to the real. And then I want to close with this. This programming that we have, this propaganda that we're under, and TV shows and whatever that perpetuates and supports abuse, which causes people to feel like they're obligated to stick with and support and take up for their own abusive family. That's also abuse, and it's toxic. I think I'm gonna do a reading if I'm guided, to come against the saying of snitches get stitches. I'm gonna see if I get some kind of a cool, snazzy saying that reverses that. Something like, no, cowards get stitches, right? Liars get stitches. Some shit. I'm gonna come up with it because it's truth sets free. It's truth that brings healing. The reason why this toxicity and abuse further perpetuates is because people allow it. That's not compassion. That is called enabling. I had to learn that. We all have to learn that. It's not compassion, it's enabling. You know someone did some toxic, fucked up shit to somebody. You hiding it is you being a coward and enabling. Simple as that. You turning a blind eye, pretending this ain't gonna get you out of it. I had to learn this too. And I just want to further vindicate and validate any of you out there that are similar to myself. If you are surrounded by people that try to make you feel like you're crazy, because that is what abusers do. Rarely are you going to have abusers just immediately simply respond healthy in a healthy way. Rarely are you going to have abusers just sit and listen calmly to what you say with an active ear, wanting to understand and willing to take accountability. That's rarely going to ever happen with toxic abusers. All they know how to do is deflect and project. So it is not you, my dear fellow beautiful souls. Okay? You speak truth in the name of your liberation and freeing yourself, whether people believe you or want to hear it or not. You will be honored for this by source and by the ancestors of the bloodline and beyond. My grandmother did not get the healing. She took a hit. She wasn't able to. She took the hit. She absorbed the toxicity. She became the toxicity. She tried to transform it towards the end when it was a little too late. She had already taken a hit. She had karmic daughters, karmic family members. Okay. She had already taken the hit. But she dealt with toxicity in her family. But no one, the talking that ever occurs in the family was always surface, shallow, and fake. Nobody wanted to ever really admit, acknowledge, and deal, if at all. If at all. Denying, scapegoating. So a lot of individuals will remain living in a curse. That's going to be their inheritance, okay? Especially the ones who have the audacity to try to come against those who are healing, awakening, and truly trying to transform that beyond a photo op. This ain't about no barbecue. This is not about no family reunion. This is not about getting together in a circle and saying a religious ass prayer, but you're still fucked up. This is not about that. This is about learning how to deal with the drama and the trauma and the dysfunction. And failure to want to do it, collective, let that be a sign to you that they are abusive and they have no desire to. You go on your journey and heal and feel empowered and don't have an ounce of guilt or allow yourself to stay in any form of guilt for removing yourself. Someone had did a video on TikTok. It was just short, and I did a duet with them many months ago. And he was talking about, he was saying, stop telling people, saying shit like it's still your family and this is your family. And he was like, no, toxic is toxic. Stop telling people that. If they're toxic to you, I don't care if they're your mother or your father, toxic is toxic. Abusive is abusive. They don't get a free ticket to be toxic and abusive to you because they had sex and pushed you out the loins or it came out of their wiener. That's a program and it's toxic. We all deserve to be treated properly. I don't care how old. If they're unhealthy, they're unhealthy. You have to determine that for yourself, but I'm just empowering you guys, like, because some folks, they stick to the beliefs, but then they're mad and they want to get in relationships with folks and complain. I know that I'm not going to deal with those type of people. It's like, look, when you start dating and you're getting out there and they want to complain about their mother and they complain about their father, but yet they stay codependent. Yet they don't walk away. Yet they don't learn how to stand up for themselves. Yet they don't learn how to put up a healthy boundary and heal and detach. It's like, don't deal with that, collective. Because these are people who want to just sit and complain, but they don't want to change their life. They're used to the abuse. Don't let them bring their baggage over there to you that they don't want to properly deal with. Because it's their free will choice. It's everyone's free will choice. You want to stay in toxic connections, whether this be with family, friends, it's everyone's choice. But collective, don't allow people to then want to come sit with you, because you know the importance of energy and you know how to clear your energy. You know how to cut cords. You know how to move on. You know how to put up boundaries, and you kind of manage and take care of your energy. And then they want to come and dump on you because they're sticking with the toxicity. Don't allow it. Okay? If people want to feel better, they need to learn how to make feel better choices. Rather than looking for empaths, earth angels, and star seeds who's doing the work daily in their lives to make them feel better, only to go back to trash. We're not a gas station, you guys. We are not an energetic gas station. We're here to be a support for those who are on the path, but each of us is responsible for maintaining and managing our own energy. Each of us is responsible for our own ascension, our own awakening, our own healing, our own happiness, our own decisions. So if people don't want to learn from you in ways that could be helpful and beneficial and make the change they need, don't allow them to attach to you or dump their baggage onto you. Okay? That's taken away from their lesson. But you be rest assured of understanding. You know when you've been abused. You know what abuse is. Educate yourself. Do your due diligence. Okay? Look into things beyond your inner circle. Because chances are, oftentimes our inner circle was the main toxicity to begin with. So learn how to look outside of your comfort zone and outside of what's been surrounding you your whole life. Learn how to think for yourself. Challenge yourself in a loving way as your soul guides you, so that you can further heal and expand and then assist in whatever way you came on the earth to assist. But abuse is abuse, and it comes in many forms. And toxic organizations, groups, and or families, they target people who are telling the truth about abuse. They're targeting people who exposes their abuse. So if you find that people are gang stalking you, targeting you, trying to discredit you, doing all sorts of stuff, because chances are they benefit from the illusion and they are a part of the abuse, and they're more concerned about what it looks like, what things look like, than they are actually being a decent human being. And those type of individuals, you just keep on moving. Okay?